welcome to the Rise Up Show. This is episode 464. I'm excited and pumped up to host today a person that I got to know through one of these Graziosi groups. Today I'm hosting this incredible person with such a high energy. He started his business in 2017 as a part-time, and on 2020, when people thought that this is the end of the world, that there is no hope, and fell into depression and thought that that's it, we are done. But he came out of this and actually made his magic and made it in an incredible way. He got to his six figures clients and to help them to have organic leads without even need a Russell Brunson like ads. And on 2020, he started to rise up than ever before, doubled his income and build his culture. So prior to that, he's also had for 20 years in the service and sales sectors for large corporate companies, specializing in being awarded with customers retention accolades, and is uniquely skilled with discovering what people truly need. So, guys, I will try to spill the beans as much as I can from this guy. He is incredible. Let me introduce Raymond Langdon.
Well,
hey, man, what's up?
That was quite the intro. You built it up even more than I would have expected. Thank you very much. And that's excellent. And I'm open to spilling the beans about anything. I'm pretty much an open book, as I told you when we were setting up this appointment. And I told you I didn't want the questions scripted. So just whatever we want to talk about, let's get into it. But let's give some value and make some impact. That's what we both do.
Let's make it impact. Let's make it rain. Awesome, and so good to have you here. And when we talked, I saw that you had such a passion and consistency and determination, because you've been 20 years in the service and sales sectors, and also you started your business on 2017. And man, everyone, it's like just 2 years into 2020, and you could just give up. But instead of this, you make that happen with tons of dedication, and I love that, man. That is a true inspiring story. And tell us, how did you start your business? What was that moment you decide to own your business?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I think that had a lot to do with being in corporate America for 20 years and realizing that within the corporate structure, even within sales, at many times we had limited and capped potential and income opportunities. So our organizations and the corporate bosses and the shareholders didn't have caps on how much profit they would make. But as the employees and the ones really generating the revenue for these businesses, a lot of times when we're stuck in that employee mentality, we're making somebody else rich off of our dedication to that profession, but it's not even our brand, our company. So what I did is in 2017, I kind of stumbled across digital marketing. I would say I really started to fall in love with it in 2018. But I did launch my first offer. It was right at the tail end of 2017, early 2018. And 2018 is really when I started to dive in. But to go back to what I was saying, I think a lot of it had to do with wanted to not be capped with my income potential, because I feel like if you deliver enough value, you should be rewarded accordingly and not due to somebody's corporate structure. So yeah, that led to a lot of it. And I always came from a place of service. And I guess one of the things I wrote down that I'd like to talk about that pretty much relates into every aspect of from, starting to where I'm at now is I think people should have a good gist of what their core intentions are and kind of incorporate that into their business. That will make them always have a passion for it, and always, it'll always hit home to them because they're invested in their core intentions. So yeah, some of those, I'll just list them real quick. My 3 or 4 that I really incorporate into everything I do. And part of what I said with this interview is being unfiltered. I like just being yourself, authentic, genuine, use whatever word you like for it. Always coming from a place of service. That's what I love about you. Thank you. Another is always coming from a place of service, which I just spoke to. I think that had a lot to do with the corporate experience I had in winning accolades for customer retention for large corporations and such. I think my third one is work ethic, and I kind of lump accountability in with that as well. I think within a business, you need to be accountable to your clients, to yourself. And if you don't get a task done or you overlook something, just admit you make a mistake and correct it. Don't just, I see a lot of business owners, oh, I sent that invite, you just never received it, when, little things, but they just overlook it and people aren't accountable. And the last one is a hunger to always improve. So if I incorporate those four things into my offer and my business, I'm always going to be driven by it.
Hunger to always improve. That is such a huge one to actually keep up, even when fears comes, even when doubts come, even when the economy fell or anything. Like when you have the hunger for success, hunger for knowledge, you can actually go through anything. I love this.
Very correct. And what you can also do when you have the hunger to improve is pivot. So when the economy goes in tanks due to a pandemic, there are ways to pivot your business if you are trying to improve and get that knowledge. Where, I mean, like you said, a lot of people just put their hands up and said, it's a pandemic. What can I do? I can't earn, I can't do this. But a lot of them weren't resourceful or didn't try to learn a new skill or a way to pivot their existing skill into a marketplace that was still offering some demand. So I think that's important too.
It's very important, 100%, because this pandemic that happened, we didn't expect that. No one expected. No one was even thinking about it. And even though it happened, there's tons of opportunities that other people don't really see that exist right there, like you did. You saw the opportunity, bam, you went for it. You didn't sit and said, oh my God, this is the pandemic. What can I do now? No. Instead of that, you went all in. And I love that, man. So how did you deal with all the fears and doubts, especially in 2020, because there was a lot of fear, not just business regard, but also everything that happened. How did you deal with those fears? How did you because I'm sure you had those days that you have doubts, like, am I going to make it? Is it going to work? How did you deal with that?
Good question. I don't know if I necessarily had fears, but I know a lot of people I spoke to and prospects and potential clients had fears. So that was something we could talk about too, to overcome. With more, relevance to your question, doubt definitely comes into play when launching any new offer or starting any business. But I think, like I said, going back to really wrapping your passions and what is, in your core intentions into your offer, and how much belief that you can help other people. If you really sincerely have the confidence and belief that you're delivering value to the marketplace and you're offering something that is going to better people's lives, I didn't necessarily have doubt about it working, maybe how long it would take, but I believed in myself. So I guess that's the biggest thing there.
So you said, I believed in myself, and that's a huge one. How did you kept believing in yourself?
Well, I think my level of expertise, I felt pretty good in the 2 years prior to, say, 2020, when this offer that I do now really came to the market and then eventually grew to where I'm doing now. Prior to that, I had worked for an 8-figure consultancy in the space, 8-figure annual consultancy. So they were a big company, and I received a lot of great training, and I learned a lot there. Also, what that really did for me working for that company, it enabled me to assess businesses on a daily basis. So I was assessing online businesses 8 hours a day, all day. And the ability to have that opportunity gave me a very good expertise in knowing people are struggling in this area. This is the best next step. And giving people advice they could literally go implement that day, instead of some plan that sounds so confusing, but how do I do it? Just no, action steps are 1, 2, 3, go implement these, come back to me for more information there, and kind of walk them step by step instead of giving them, just overwhelm them with stuff like a lot of people do. So I would say, the skills I learned there, and what that really did for me, that kind of fires me up, is I saw that company doing some things maybe ethically or morally I didn't agree with. And although I was, hitting my sales numbers and making very good money within that company, we mutually parted ways after about 5 months, and it really gave me all the ammunition I wanted to start this offer. I don't know if I would have started this without that experience. I just didn't like some of the things I was seeing in the market. Certain larger companies in particular in this space oftentimes will tell you their program does one thing or offers a desired result, and they won't deliver it, or they'll have unsatisfied customers, yet they'll gladly keep taking people's $10,000 enrollment fees for these programs.
Yeah, there are a lot in that area.
So that really inspired me to, I know I can offer these results that these other people are promising for 5 figures up, and I can do it at a fraction of the cost. So it's like a win-win for myself, doing something I really believe in and helping people and helping them at a much lower rate, because finances are big to people. And especially during this pandemic, people don't all have 5 figures to go invest in a coaching program. I mean, let's just be honest about it. They don't.
Yeah. Mostly they don't, because they think they won't get the result, because they think maybe it's not worth it, maybe all of that. And most of the program, don't really go and give you all in and give you all the things that you need. And most of them lack in service. And that's a huge one, lack in service. And you saw that, and you said, hey, I'm going to bring that. I'm going to own this, and I'm going to bring that. By the way, I see that we have some people on. So guys, if you have questions for Raymond, you're welcome to comment below. At the end, can ask Langdon, Raymond some questions. So you're welcome to tap in the chat below.
Sure.
So
that'd be great.
That is amazing, man. That even though with everything that happened, you actually had the skills. Because prior to your work, what you did for the last 20 years, not a year, not a two, 20 years, that's a lot of time to get a lot of skills and actually understand the market and what's going on. And you saw the lack of service. You saw the lack of what other people provide. And you said, fuck that, I'm going to do that.
Love it.
I love that, man.
And what we really saw is, obviously you and I both know how marketing works, especially in the online space. But a lot of people put so much gimmicks into their marketing that it is wiring people to think they need this, and then it's not delivering on the marketing message. So we know how that works, and it's part of the game. And I admire great marketing, but I like great marketing to be followed up with deliver on promise.
Exactly. When you actually deliver on the promise. And that is a huge one right there. Guys that were watching here, listen that. What you say, you deliver. If you don't deliver, you're missing out. You're missing out. People will not work with you. Your reputation will get destroyed. So instead of that, when you actually promise something, deliver it. Not 10%, 100%, and even more.
Yeah, so over deliver. I love that.
Because that's something a lot of people lack. They say, come on, I will give you this transformation. You will earn 10 grand after 1 week or 2 weeks in a night. And then it doesn't happen.
Yeah, especially that overnight thing.
Yeah, that overnight thing is totally bullshit.
Yeah, if you don't,
totally bullshit. It doesn't exist.
No, there's a great quote.
Overnight success. People that overnight success, they worked for years, and then in one night, suddenly they succeed.
Good point.
So
that goes back to consistency. It's almost like when you go to the gym. I could go to the gym today, work out, come home, look in the mirror. I'm not going to look any different. I could go to the gym, come home tomorrow, look over in the mirror. I'm not going to look any different. But if I do it consistently, I can't tell you what day it's going to happen, but the results will come. And like you said, those people that did that overnight, well, they consistently were doing something for months and years behind the scenes that people didn't see. And they saw the blow up, So well said.
Yeah. That's why also a lot of people quit, like what you mentioned right now with the gym. Like they're going to the gym, going one time, coming in the mirror. Oh, damn, nothing changed. Okay, I will try tomorrow again. Going again, back tomorrow to the mirror. Nothing changed. That shit doesn't work. Bye-bye. That's it. Live. It doesn't work in overnight. You need to have consistency. It's the key for everything. Consistency.
Yep.
If you lack in this, you will lack in most of you will lack in business. You will lack in life, in partnership, everything.
Yep.
Because if you don't have the consistency and you don't have the word and the providing what you said, not just in business, but also in your personal life. If you said to your spouse, I will do that, and you never do it, guess what happened? Anger, frustration, fights, the trust issues,
Hmm.
plummet. Same in business.
I would
And
agree.
I love that.
I would agree
Uh,
100%.
so Raymond, how do you keep actually the momentum, leading yourself, leading others, your clients, when there is uncertainty, where there was uncertainty, still uncertainty in 2020, especially in 2020, when you were in the middle of the business, right?
Yeah. I would say what keeps me motivated definitely is client results. Like every day getting screenshots and emails of more calls booked. I made a sale. One of my clients, when she enrolled working with me just over 90 days ago, was charging, I want to say a little over 2,000 for her program, not charging like not even a program built that she wanted to do. Somebody, her previous coach said, this is your program, this is your offer, do it this way. Yeah. And she just said, yes, well, yours works, so I'm going to follow you. So then when we started working together and talking more, I'm like, Jess, this doesn't even sound like your offer. This doesn't sound like what you want to be doing. This isn't your ideal client, which is why you're having trouble delivering results and you don't enjoy working with these people. So let's get into what you really wanted to do. And anyway, we mapped out a new offer. They pitched her as a coach when she's really set out to be a consultant. And now since that, she sold a $7,200 package right after we repackaged her offer within 7 days of redoing her offer. And she had never signed a client for that. Like, that's just one example, but just hearing those stories and seeing the impact and the results you're delivering really keeps you motivated.
100%. 100%. When you see results from your clients, then I know how it feels when suddenly a client says, hey, I just nailed it. Hey, I just made it happen. I just formed my business. I'm so passionate about it. And you see that they are radiate of joy and they actually achieve their goals. That gives you the fulfillment that actually to keep on. So I love that you mentioned that. When you said that.
Yep.
Let's say, before that, because I'm sure there was a time that you didn't have clients, you were struggling at first, right? When you just started out.
Mm-hmm.
What kept you actually going? What was that momentum that you kept yourself on? What was that drive?
Yeah, sure. So I'll map out exactly how this worked. This offer came to fruition. I got with my business partner. So it's only myself and one other person. Jesse Gibson is my business partner. And we got together and talked about creating this offer in April of 2020. We were both doing other things at the time too. So, we had to structure this right. We didn't actually launch it to market until August. And we didn't enroll our first high ticket client until September. So we went a whole 30 plus days with no revenues coming in. But that was also kind of structuring our business, and we didn't do a ton of marketing in that time. But that said, it's a good question because my business partner was more apt to quit than I, but we've definitely discussed it a couple of times. Like, we don't have enough revenue coming in. I was making more with my other option, things like that. We've had those discussions, but I think I always reiterated to him what I fully believed. I was like, this is going to be bigger than that, and it's going to be ours. Like, it's not somebody else's thing we're doing, it's ours. So it might take a little longer to get going. Or, he was a very high earner in his other position, over 200K a year in his other position. So I understand that's not something easy to walk away from. And when you're not seeing those results right away, it's easy to think, oh shoot, what did I just give up? But now he thanks me. I'm glad you kicked my ass in gear and kept me in line and going with this, because it's so rewarding now, and we're doing what we want to do. So does that answer your question?
Yeah, 100%. That's also means and show how is it when you have a good accountability partner? When you have someone that when you're in the lowest, he kicks your butt or she kicks your butt. But when you have that accountability buddy, if it's a mentor, if it's a coach, or if it's a friend, or if it's a partner that actually kicks your butt, that's when you actually see more momentum. Because if you surround yourself with negative people, Guess what happened? I'm sure the motivation that you had to keep on wasn't there.
Probably true.
If you surround yourself with negative people.
Yes.
That brings us to the rule of 5. The 5 people that surround us the most, that's our thoughts. That's how we move. That's how we talk. Without even notice it, in our subconscious level, it happens. Without even notice, we are talking like them. We are moving like them. And because we as human beings mimic. Look at the little children, right? They are the perfect mimickers, if you will. They know how to mimic people 100%. We are doing it unconsciously, and when we surround ourselves with the 5 people, and that Jim Rohn also says that the people around you, that's how you think and move and talk. So this is so important, and I love that you said that your partner kept kicking your butt, and this is show also how you can keep that momentum up, even if you can't afford right now to have a mentor. Also, that's sometimes it's bullshit, sometimes it's not, but get accountability partner that helps you to bring you to where you want to. Not someone in the lowest that you will feel good like, oh, I'm smart, yeah. But someone at your level or beyond. So guys, if you're watching it, surround yourself with the 5 people that you love and that can help you rise up.
Yeah, that kind of goes back to one of my other things that it's very important. I go over with my private clients in particular is control your environment. And generally speaking, that is the core of a handful of people you associate with. I think that quote is, you become the sum of your 5 closest peers. So if you don't surround yourself with equals or people, at least a couple in your circle above you, it's giving you no incentive to ascend in your, in your progression in life, in all aspects. Personally, physically, mentally, business, all aspects. So I think that's a big other thing. And the other aspect to control your own environment, I like to say, is like your workspace, having a neat, organized workspace. Just controlling your environment and being in an environment you like. Like, I'm surrounded with art on the wall of things that inspire me, just stuff like that. Is what I also attribute outside of the people I interact with. It's the environment I work in.
That's so true. When your environment gives you the energy, also with the people, it gives you what you need. It provides you, because your home, you're not slave to your home. Your home is slave to you in a way, because you're creating the environment. Your home doesn't create mess. You're creating mess.
Exactly.
So same here. I have my vision board always in front of me. I have a lot of quotes all around me in my office. So it gives you that energy all the time.
Yep.
So let me ask you this. What are your top 3 habits? Because you talked about organized. That's also a habit. So what are your top 3 habits that you developed that helped you the most to actually get a successful business?
That's ironic you ask. I actually did a live training in my group last week, and I named it the CIA method. I don't know if anyone's used that before. It just sounded good. But the 3 things that I attributed to our growth and our continued growth and really the success, I mean, literally since launching this offer in, like I said, August of 2020, and really not even getting the first revenues till September, we're already a 6-figure business with only 2 people. So the growth, but what I would say, the 3 things, the CIA: consistency, implementation, and accountability. Those 3 things, because especially the second one, so many people consume info, and they're always consuming, and they'll jot down, oh, I got a good idea. And then tomorrow they'll jot down 2 or 3 more ideas, but they never went and implemented that first one. And they're just keep adding more ideas and more ideas. So I say, jot something down and go to work on it. Don't wait for the next idea, because people are, saying, I don't know what to post content about, or I don't know how to speak to my audience. Well, look back in your notebook 30 days when you wrote down that idea you never implemented, and you probably have something right there, because so many people don't do it. But those 3 things, and we talked already a bit about consistency and accountability. But those 3 things I think are really crucial, and people lack one of the three, generally speaking, if not more. Like you said, it's easy to give up. That consistency is really, you need to have a deep belief in whether you're going to the gym to get healthy, or whether you're starting a business, or whether you're trying to fix your relationship. Like even with a relationship, right? Your girlfriend didn't realize, or wife didn't realize she fell in love with you one day. It was your consistency of when you had a crappy day, still caring about her day, was a good morning kiss. It was the little things you did consistently. And one day she's like, darn, I love this guy. But it doesn't matter what you're doing. That consistency is a factor.
That's damn right. And that's what happened why a lot of, if we talked right now about relationships, why a lot of relationships deteriorate, because in time, as the time goes, you stop being consistent on bringing that love, bringing that listening, on bringing more passion into it, and there's no love, no attraction, no nothing, because you lost the consistency. So if you will rate those three, what will be number 1, 2, and 3?
It's very difficult. I would actually say implementations first, because I think it's the most overlooked and the most, people say they will do stuff, but saying and doing are two different things. We both know there's talkers and there's doers. I have to say implementations number 1, because I think so many people just tell themselves they want it, but don't actually do the actions and behaviors that prove they want it. Consistency would be second for me, and accountability third.
So implementation, consistency, and accountability. Right?
That's how I would rank them. Yes.
Yeah. Damn right. Just do it. The implementation. Just fucking do it. A lot of time we're missing out on that little thing, like you mentioned. For example, for years, I was the one that procrastinate on going on videos. I was so afraid from the camera that people will laugh, that people will say, no, your English is suck, and all of that. And I said to myself, one day, it was when one of my lowest points, I said to myself, this is the time to rise up. And I started with a challenge 365, every single day, a video, no matter what. Awesome. So when you bring that consistency, you're actually improving not 10 times, 365 times more and more as you keep on going with that. So definitely implementation, and then you bring the consistency and accountability. So it's exactly in that order. I love it.
Yep. That's what I would say.
This is so important. People, jot that down. Implementation, consistency, accountability.
Yeah, totally. And what you were just talking about there, really to speak some more on that, I mean, I would have to say that a lot of people also don't do the accountability thing. We spoke a little about that, and you said an accountability partner, which I think is great. But a lot of times people will make that somebody they're too close to, like a family or friend that will let them slide. You know what I mean? It's like you want your accountability. Yes, you may want some rapport in a relationship, but you don't want it to be somebody, you talk to your brother or your best friend of 15 years and you guys are accountability partners, and, oh, I skipped the gym today. Oh, don't worry about it, buddy. I'll let you slide. You know, it happens once in a while. Like, that's going to happen. So you want to surround yourself with somebody that will critique you, but do it out of self-growth, out of making you evolve as a person, in whatever that is.
Exactly. Because if you have a accountability partner that when you say, oh, damn, I have a bad day. No, it's okay. You can rest. It's okay. Then it's not accountability.
No. They need to push you, right?
Talking about what happened, but that's not accountability.
I love your story there too. About how you kind of had a fear of being on camera due to your speaking voice or how you'll look. And you just said, I'm going to rise up and just do it. Because another thing I heard is when you do stuff consistently, you get 1% better every day. So you do it 100 days, you get 100% better. And then the next 100. So that means that year, you got 365% better. And if you look back at your first time on camera as till now, I bet you'll see a huge difference on your improvements.
Oh, man, it was a disaster. What are you talking about? I still have that video on the YouTube because, first of all, that's a constant reminder to where I've been and where I am now.
Yep.
And at that time, I talked like a zombie. My first one, I talked like a zombie and I mumbled. It was like that. Hey everyone, how are you doing today? It was horrible. Just horrible. So, but you improved. You're just doing it. There's that phrase that changed my life. And who is watching right now and watching the replay, write it down. Done is better than perfect. I repeat that done is better than perfect, because sometimes we wait until it will be perfect. It will be the perfect moment, the perfect product, the perfect girlfriend, the perfect client, the perfect blah, 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 the perfect everything.
Mhm.
But that's bullshit. There's no perfect time.
Nope.
Now it's the perfect time. How that phrase goes, I think it's a Chinese proverb. When was the best time to plant a tree? The best time to plant a tree was 20 years. When is the next best time? Is now.
Yep.
So this is so true. The implementation, and consistency, that's what build it. And of course, if you have accountability, it push you even faster.
Correct.
So, Raymond, I wanted to ask you, as someone who did and own it on 2020, on one of the worst years in history, what tip will you give to our audience that listening right now to feel more confident about themselves and leading themselves into their best version right now? Because if we don't feel confident, we can't live. If you won't believe that it will be happening, like we talked at the when we just started, it wouldn't happen. We wouldn't talk right now because it wasn't possible. But you believed in yourself and you owned it. So what kind of tip can you give them to feel confident even though it's bad times?
Well, is it bad times? Like you just said, it's the perfect time if there
It's
ever is
not a
going to
bad
be
time.
one.
It's challenging times.
Yes.
Challenging times.
But I love what you said, because there will be no perfect time. There's going to be no perfect time where your product is perfectly polished and not going to need any more attention or optimization. There's not going to be a perfect time when you're going to have the cash flow to do it, or you're going to be vulnerable enough to get. There's no perfect time. The time is when you make it perfect, which is now, because tomorrow isn't guaranteed either. We all know that. So make a change now.
Yeah.
But what I would say more so to your question, and what can keep people to have that confidence, is rely on your skills and your passions. Now, if you've come through an experience and you've overcome something very traumatic, it could be, anxiety, depression, mental disorders, or things like that. Now you found a way to overcome that. And there's so many people suffering from that. Use your experience to impact other people's lives, because just that rub-off effect of what you're doing, and you don't even know the whole ripple effect of you helping them, how many people they may help or inspire. I mean, helping one person could help 100 people down the road, So knowing that you're making impact, I think, gives you some more confidence, whether that be, like I said, through past experiences or through skills you have. It could be through your profession or your education, and you rely on those skills to be confident. I got a degree in this, or I worked hard in this industry for 10 years. I'm an expert. Like, I don't think people give themselves enough credit as an expert, because they think there's always people better than me. Well, yeah, but you know how many are below you in that knowledge range? So people are only looking for the next bit of information. They don't even relate to the guy way up here on the chain. You know what I mean? When you're in business or helping somebody lose weight, typically they only want to lose 10 or 20 pounds first. You don't have to teach them to lose 50. They need to lose 10 or 20. And then they might want to lose another 10 or 20, depending on the individual. But what I'm saying is, within the knowledge gap, you might not realize you're an expert. And let's say you're in real estate, right? And you go in the office and you talk about it all day, and it's just your normal lingo. So to you, this is all normal knowledge. But to somebody that wants to get into real estate or wants to learn, they have none of this knowledge. So you tell them what you talk about on a daily basis and your expertise, and they're going to gain a wealth of knowledge and things that they can take out of that.
Yeah. And for them, it can be a foreign language, but for you, it's like a fluent language.
Well said.
Yeah, because when we don't see and give credit to ourselves, we can't actually rise up, because we can't see ourselves and as a best version, and how can we improve? Because what we do, we compare to others. Oh, she's better than me. No, he's better than me.
Mm.
But I'm not at that level, so I can't make it happen right now. Oh my God, well, how can I make to that level of Tony Robbins or Dean Graziosi or anyone else? Like, stop comparing. When we compare ourselves, that's so destructive. Instead of looking within, like, where I've been yesterday, where I've been last year to now, because there's always a difference. And like you said, with the real estate, you have the knowledge if it's real estate or if it's something that you overcome. That means you already have more knowledge than someone that didn't overcome this. So you
Yep.
can help them with this. Even make your own product about this. If you had never started and you want to start a business and you're thinking about what should I do, start with something that you already owned yourself or help someone else to own it. It doesn't have to be a paying client. It can be a friend that you help them overcome this. That means you have the knowledge.
Yes.
So that is so true what you said right now, and a lot of people disregard it. Like, oh, but he's better. She's better. I'm not good enough. I don't have the skills. All that crap that's
It
going
is
on in
crap.
our head. Yeah. And it happens. Hey, it happens. It happens to me sometimes that I'm starting to see that I'm comparing, but that's the thing, to be aware to it and get the hell out of it in seconds, in minutes, not in hours, days, or months that we are wasting on comparing, because it's so destructive, and get our self-confidence to be so low that we can't actually operate, that we can't actually do something.
Yes. And when it comes to comparing, also, what I would tell people to maybe get over this is also think nobody else is you. Like, you could compare yourself to whoever, but nobody else has your special expertise, your special gifts. So you can offer something totally unique to anybody else. Just people need to realize their individuality and their experiences in their life is unique, and they're bringing something different to the table than even a Tony Robbins or a Dean or whoever. They're still bringing their own unique talents, gifts.
That's what's special about us. We have the uniqueness inside of us because we had story that the other one doesn't have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that could be
so true. So, as someone that is expert in bringing organic leads, help people to build their businesses by having organic leads, and done without any budget like Russell Brunson. So what is the best approach and let's say, what are your top 3 tips to give someone who is just starting out to reach more new leads organically without spending that amount of money?
Yeah, good question. When it comes to organic, so as we all know, the difference between organic and paid is organic, you're going to utilize some of your time. Paid, you're going to utilize money. Mm-hmm. Well, most people early on in their business have time, but the money is scarce. They don't have revenues coming in, or they've invested into a coach or a mentor or a program, something like that. So I always believe with all of my, especially my startup clients. Now, it might be different when I work with established business owners, but definitely startup clients or early on in business, I always recommend they go organic till they get to X revenue level. Now, it's different for everybody depending on, profit margins, what your costs are, what your structure of your business. But I think organic should be till you get to a healthy point in your business where you have at least replaced your previous income if you're coming, new into this online space. Mm-hmm. And then you can mix in a healthy mix of both, organic and paid. And I think that's another thing. I think you should never forget the organic aspect. Like, some people start getting results off the paid and they go away from the organic, and then boom, my Facebook ad account shut down. All my leads just went away. I have no clients to contact this week. Well, how did you start that business? Well, organically. Well, where's that? Oh, I stopped doing it because I started doing paid, No, there needs to be a healthy mix. You should always be bringing in prospects through both avenues. We actually got to a point where our organic got so dialed in, we shut off our paid, I don't know, a month ago. We're not running any paid ads, and our calendars are getting full every week. I tried that healthy mix, and our organic got so dialed in, I don't need the paid. I'll probably utilize it again at some point, but So if you can have a business where literally you fill your calendar organically, it's a great feeling, to be honest. So I'd say the best tips are, what people aren't really teaching is the quality of how to get quality organic prospects. They think it's all this cold prospecting. And what I've seen in so many high ticket programs is you have to join groups. Everybody that engages, you send a friend request, then you send a DM. You do this 100 times a day. 25 will respond, 5 will book calls, 1 you'll sell. There you go. You made $5,000. Like, that is tedious and a lot of time and effort. And that's why people are getting fed this information, and they get so many fear of rejection and people saying, why are you DMing me? And they're doing it from a kind of, sleazy, kind of pitchy way, instead of a relational way where they're really coming into this offering value, trying to give somebody help. If I see if I can help you first, I offer you something for free that gets you the first problem, you're probably going to come back saying, hey, Ray, what else you got that can help me over? Now I got through this. Like, this is my next obstacle. All right, Mr. Joe, we'll hop on a call and see if I can give you some more insight or advice. That guy's coming back to me. And it's so much different organically when people are reaching you, when you're the hunted and not the hunter. So that's the biggest thing I would say people need to understand. Now, this is hard to figure out on your own. I'll grant you that. You may have to pay somebody to find a dialed in way, because otherwise you may spin your tires for so long you quit, or you just waste so much time. It would have been much more worth it to pay somebody a couple grand and, get this advice and get your business going. Just the overall time and money you can save from it really comes down to, as paying someone who's already done what you want to do. If you want to get great organic traffic, find somebody that's doing it and join their stuff. But we also give away so much for free to our audience as well. We've had multiple people go through the free course we offer and make $1,500, $3,000 sales off no ad spend and no paying me for coaching, none of that, just through our free content. So I try to give away the best I can. Of course, the full genius of what we do goes into our paid stuff. It's just the way it has to be.
Yeah. So help first, right? Bring value, start organic, and then grow and mix it.
That's what I would recommend. Yeah.
Nice.
And I think the one big thing that I want to get across to newcomers, if they're either just starting, considering starting an online business, or they've consumed a lot of information and they're like, I don't know where to start. So what I see the biggest problem is people going, I need my fancy website, I need my funnels, I need my VSL, my webinar. Like, those are bells and whistles of an online business. Those have their place. I'm not saying there's no place for those, but that's not what's needed to start. If you think about it, to start your business, you need two things only, audience. You need leads coming in and you need sales that close, right? That's what brings in the initial revenues. Then you can start to build out your website, create your fancy whatever, but you need revenues coming in. If you're going to try to think you need all this stuff in place, and then it's funny, watch, you put all that stuff into place, you go prospect and you're like, oh, I just talked to this guy and booked him. Like, I didn't need to send him to my website or my funnel. Like, you create this stuff and you're not even really using it, because a lot of times you can do this right through good conversation and being relational. So really, what do you need first? You need to find a way to start some marketing, and you can do it for free. And you need to find a way to close leads. So if you're not good with sales, you don't even have to pay for coaching with that right away. There's lots of great free information that can help you get your first couple sales. So focus on those two things primarily. And I guarantee you, within a month or two, you'll have some paying clients. And then you can worry about bells and whistles if you need them.
Exactly. And I so hear you, because when I started, I threw up so much money on so many programs, more than 10 grand about shit.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh, I need that. Oh, I need that shiny. Oh, I need that shiny object. Oh my God, I need that shiny object. And all that is bells and whistles. Like you said, it's bells and whistles, and focus on bringing the value, helping people. Then leads come in and you make the sales.
Exactly.
Bring the value, guys, bring the value. Like you said right now, when there's tons of free value out there. So go out and make some value. Guys, go out and make some value, because those people that are out there that bringing you value, like we are doing right now with the interview, like Raymond do a lot in his group, like I'm doing in my group, like everybody does in their group. Remember, success leaves clues. So
Mm,
what are other people doing, and bring that to the table. Bring your value. Don't copy, don't
no,
mimic. See what is there that you can bring the value. I love it. This is so crucial.
it is.
Help first, bring value, people will come.
Yep.
That is incredible. So let's say they have right now the ideal client, right? They try to make new connections. What is the best approach that you will give to our audience right now to reach their clients,
Okay.
to reach their ideal client?
Yeah, no, great question. So there's a few things. When you're trying to reach your ideal client, we're talking social media, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So first you want to locate platform, right? Which platform does my ideal client hang out on? Is it, I would say the best way to identify this, if you have more of like an instant gratification offer and stuff that can be done with a lot of image and photo type of content, probably IG could be your best platform. If you want more long form interaction and the ability to locate your audience within groups, I think Facebook. And then prefer also LinkedIn is similar, but LinkedIn is much more a business to business than business to
Mm-hmm.
consumer platform. So find out
Yeah.
which platform your audience hangs out on first, and then within said platform, where are they hanging out? So if we've niched down and identified our ideal client, we should know some of their common interests, hobbies, wants, likes, desires. So we join groups around those characteristics. My ideal client, for instance, outside of business and finance, is very interested in sports. A lot
Mm.
of them are avid readers. So I'm in groups that are sports related or reading, and I like to write myself. I'm writing my first book now, and a lot of my avid clients love to write too. So I'm in groups based around that. And then what's cool in those secondary groups, instead of like pitching business in business groups where everybody's doing what you're doing, people feel like that's their community, like sports fans inside of a sports group. So then when they have a problem with their career or they want to transition, they feel open, like talking to that community, like, hey guys, anyone got any insight in here on how I would start an online business? Well, if I see that post in that group and I respond with something of value, I'm the first person they've seen.
And
They
it
haven't been
happens.
marketed to by everybody else in the business community. So
Mhm.
that's just one thing. But secondary, when you're finding which platform and where within the platform or how we're going to talk to these people, we want to post questions with a purpose to get a reply of substance. Remember this, a question with a purpose to get a reply of substance. So if you ask somebody, let's say you're a weight loss coach, right? And you ask somebody, do you want to lose 10 pounds before next month? They're going to answer yes or no. It's like, how do I come back and transition in the thread to offer something of value out of a yes or no? Then you got to start the momentum all over again. All right, you said yes. Well,
Yeah.
what are your, but if you asked, you know, are you looking to lose weight in the next 30 days? And if so, what have you tried in the past that hasn't worked? So now your response is, in the past, I've tried the keto diet or the Atkins, whatever. And then as a fitness or nutrition coach, you can come in and be like, oh, I understand. A lot of people have tried those, and you're delivering something of value. So your posts need to have a purpose and initiate a response of substance so you can go in and offer your value.
Have it with purpose, with intention. Mm-hmm. Not
Yep.
just posting.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
not just post to get, not even
I'm
just
not
post to
teaching
get.
also.
Well, one thing people do too, as I'm sure as you know, is people just post to get engagement. But
Yeah.
I don't want a post that's going to get me 100 comments and 50 likes, but none of those comments are of substance, or I can transfer into a prospect call. I would rather have 10 comments of people that I spoke to directly, because my messaging is speaking to my ideal client and not 100 people. I'd rather speak to the 10 that are interested and then start conversations with those. And when I get 5 of those people booked onto my calendar, and then say 3 are good fits for strategy session, I'm going to close 2 out of 3 instead of deal with 100 people to maybe find the one interested.
Yeah.
So
Instead
quality
of
over quantity
searching
again.
that pile of gold.
Yes, I'd say
Mhm.
quality over quantity again.
Exactly. So when you found them, right? You ask the right question, or maybe you asked question, but it wasn't like the right question to bring them to you, how do you bring them closer by the posting, by bringing those questions up,
Yeah. So
by doing those?
what I'll do when somebody engages with me, when they come back, so I won't do this off the start. If I just post something and someone comments once, hey, you guys want some tips on how to launch your online business? Somebody just says yes. Right then, I don't do anything, but I would come back and say, "Oh, cool. So, what are you looking to do, and how do you help people, or what are you looking to offer the marketplace?" Then, when they reply back for that second time, that's actual engagement, in my opinion. I know they've already commented or liked, but we didn't start to have rapport built. That's where the real engagement. So
Right.
at that point, I'll friend request them. Then the person can look through my content, see how the past year I've been helping clients, posting motivational stuff, business tips. Like they'll know just through scrolling through my content that I'm an expert in what I do, and they'll get a good gist of if we're a good fit. I mean, I think that's really important in this space too. I tell a lot of my prospects when I get on the phone, they're like, "Oh, I'm talking with another coach next week." I'm like, "Good, great. Like find the right fit, whether it's me or somebody else." Like I encourage that. Where a lot of programs you get on the phone and they're like, "Nope, this is the program you need. Don't look elsewhere. Like we're the solution." I think finding that right fit
It's
is such
supposed to
a
be something that fits. Yeah.
yeah. So that's what I would say.
Hector just said here, you're addressing my question before I asked.
Boom.
I love it.
Hey, Eden, I have a call in 8 minutes. So if we have any questions in there, I can't see, but if you have any, get to them. Or
let's make it short. Let's go to the two last questions that I really wanted to ask you.
Sure.
Okay. So if you go back in time, because right now we are going sidetrack, we are going to finish the call right now. So if you go back in time, what advice will you give to your younger self?
Oh, it would definitely be work with somebody who's done what I want to do sooner. I spent a lot of time trying to figure it out for myself. I was a little stubborn, and I think maybe that's a male trait, or maybe that's just, my 20 years of experience thinking, oh, I got good experience. I can go figure this out on my own. Like I spun my wheels for a while. I'm probably surprised I didn't quit after really a year and a half of having to do this part-time while still working 40 hours and not really making it online, so to speak, until I would say it was really fall of 2019 when I went full-time online and haven't worked for the corporate world a day since. Like that day when you wake up and you're like, I don't have a boss. I don't ever have to commute to my office again. It's just a liberating feeling.
Exactly. It is a liberating feeling. So I love that you said go with someone that already doing it, right?
Totally. I should have done that sooner.
So same here. I totally understand you. So if you had one chance, to deliver the one message that will stay written in history, what will it be?
A super quick one is always aspire to inspire. If you're always aspiring to inspire others, you're going to leave a legacy and an impact.
Nice. I love it. Always inspire to inspire. And Raymond, last question. How can people know more about you?
So you could look us up. Our Facebook group is probably where you would get the most value. Also, you could look up my personal Facebook account, which is the name on the screen. I think I sent you a couple links, Eden. But our Facebook group is called Six Figure Business Secrets. Feel welcome to join. We have a free course in the guide section, like I said, that's getting people high ticket clients with no ad spend and not paying me a darn penny, which I love to see. Those are some of the best reviews when someone's like, I went through your free stuff and I landed a high ticket client. I'm like, yeah, like that almost amps me up more than the people that paid.
So what
sometimes
will happen when they join you?
Yeah.
The coaching program. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, those are the two best ways. Social media. I mean, we have a website, but again, like I talked about bells and whistles, I barely use the thing. I'll be straight up with you. I mean, my Facebook group and my social media, I have a much larger presence on than I do with my website.
That's the way to go. Be focused. And guys, when we finish, you will have all the links in the description below, so you can join Raymond, ask him more questions. And Raymond, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. We really went beyond, but thank you so much for your time. It was really awesome to have you here. Really honor. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, I enjoyed the conversation. So I blocked out a full hour. So we went right around where I thought we would go. But no, I had a great time, and I love your energy and also what you deliver, Eden. You make a lot of impact. You motivate people, and you're always so upbeat. Every time we've interacted or messaged back and forth, we usually are doing voice notes so I can actually hear your voice inflections. But he's always so upbeat and motivated. And those are the type of people that, they rub off on you. I'm kind of like that anyway. But being around those people, it inspires you to be like, I want to go make somebody's day better. So thank you for what you do as well, my friend.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Guys, if you have any more questions for Raymond, you can leave down below or go and ask him. You will have, again, all the links here in the description. And guys, thank you also for being here, investing your time with us today. So if you like this video, you like this interview, give us a huge thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe if you're watching on YouTube to have all the new content coming in. And again, Raymond, thank you for being here.
You're welcome. And guys, why don't you let us know below if you got some value out of this? That's what we would like to hear, right?
Yeah, what was your biggest takeaways? What were your one biggest takeaway or breakthrough you had from today? We would love to know. Comment below.
Great. All right. I'll talk to you soon, buddy.
Thank you. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.